All right, magnesium and the soft tissue. Well, soft tissue is considered, I guess, 50% of where magnesium is stored in the body. All the magnesium at is almost all of the magnesium is at the intracellular level, um, uh, in the cells and not outside of the cell. So that is like where we want the highest level of magnesium is within the cell. I mean, that's where it's stored. I mean, and you could say that for any type of cell. So that could be bone or blood or platelet or wherever you're at, there's magnesium that's stored at that level. And so the intracellular um, is the most important part of the deficiency, meaning that's where our aims are in a sense, and that's why chloride is so important because in the same way that chloride is the base molecule of magnesium found in the ocean, there's a little sulfate, there's some other things in there, but in general, the chloride is the main magnesium molecule found in the ocean. It's the same in our human body. Chloride, you know, which can be coming from, the body, when you take some sort of, you eat something that has magnesium in it, your body will convert that into chloride through hydrochloric acid. It will rechlorify things if possible and start with that master molecule and break that down. And a lot of people don't tell you where they get their magnesium from. You see the glycinate, you see all these things, but that doesn't point to origin. That just points to what they did with it once they got it. But where they got it from was chloride, or they got it from carbonate, or they got it from some remnant of the sea, or open waters, or brines and things like that, which can be contaminated, and then they have to solvent extract. 95% of the market, there's a solvent extracted anyway, because they clean it all up or whatever they call that. No, there is stuff out there which doesn't do that, on theheartoftradition.com, and so we don't practice any of that chemical purification. But anyway, that's off topic, because I'm trying to just go through these on a subject content basis and not try to just market anything fully right now. Um, but so the soft tissue englobes the other 50%. 50% is stored, not 50, because there's like little twos and 1% and all these things. Like the blood has a small percentage, for example. But most of the magnesium is stored in the bones in the hydroxyapatite layer, which is the surface layer of the bone, and then you also have within the bones too, and teeth and everything else, and then in all the tissue. I mean, everything is composed of magnesium too. Not fully, but there's magnesium sprinkled into everything, even structurally. Um, and so this soft tissue is technically, the muscular system, and the fascia, and the skin, and the epiderm, and the ectoderm. This whole area of nerve and skin, and the mesoderm too. Which is more the muscular system. So all of that's considered soft tissue. But so the soft tissue is very important because this is where a lot of our magnesium deficiency is coming from, and it's going undetected because soft tissue is it's like a patchwork deficiency, and so you can't just test anywhere you want. It doesn't show up in the blood, so everybody thinks they're fine, but they're not fine. It's just because surgeons know to test the heart. When they try to do heart surgery, they test for the magnesium deficiency in the heart. They never test the blood. They always test the tongue because it's a mirrored soft tissue, which is intelligent. So testing these parallel areas is much more intelligent, and that's not what we do today. So it's going undetected, and it's creating great havoc on all of us. The degeneration of the species for the last 200 years, and abandoning our traditions and our founding fathers and their obsession for the waters, and those sacred waters around America, and all those paths that were carved out, vacation paths that were carved out to these areas. What was that all about? Can we skip all over that with a pill? Can we separate man from the sea and put a pill in its place? And so all of these questions are going to become more and more real as the deficiency deepens. From coffee to chocolate to everything else, we're masking so much things with these stimulants. We're trying to mask what the body's really feeling, which is that, hey, I'm deficient. So give me more stimulant, give me more of this, that, and that train will end. So yeah, so the soft tissue is a key to this mystery. It's a key to why the deficiency is going undetected, and it's a key to why our ancestors, from the Greeks and Romans on down to our founding fathers, were so adamant about these waters that we bathe in, and what they knew about magnesium. They didn't know it in the way we know it through studies and this kind of stuff. They knew it through their intuition and through history. Like there was, they felt good too going to these places, and they were able to see that it worked. They didn't have to have 1,000 studies on it to know that it was working. And so we've kind of lost our, we've lost our common sense to some degree, and we've replaced it with like some sort of seek a study for everything. And I'm not saying studies are bad, but a lot of them are, because in today's world, where the funding is coming from, the who's really funding it, who's pretending to fund it, and then who's really funding it. There's multiple levels to these big studies, and what the motivations are. Like some of the big ones that sold us on corn oil or genetic foods or whatever other kind of thing they tried to sell us on. We have to be aware of that you're going to have to use your intuition too. You can find studies. Sometimes the smaller studies seem to be where it's at. And then sometimes the bigger studies can work too if you're able to, read properly and not go with, some slant on the study. And so all of that takes work and effort. I've found studies that everyone hated, and they said it was just totally Machiavellian, this study. But then when someone with more acumen read the study deeper, they found that there was a lot of evidence that disproved the conclusion that the media made about the study within the study itself. So what that means is that studies aren't bad per se. We just have to know how to read them and use them, and not, get a slant on that. So this softer tissue is a very important key to this mystery, and how magnesium is pulled in through the human skin. That's why they created all of this limestone magnesium culture all throughout Greece and antiquity, with these baths that were made of this dolomite stone, and the mortar made thereof, like slake lime, and they were basically making a porous stone even more porous, and a high magnesium water even more high in magnesium. So they knew what they were doing, and they were able to create and copy the effects that they got from thermae around Greece, one of which is called Lutreki, and they just copied that into their whole culture. So very intelligent. Soft tissue is a key to all of this. Now, the soft tissue, also can be a symbol for flexibility too in the body, and how much magnesium is that kind of element. Not only does it, I used to say masculine and feminine, like the masculine's like hard, like calcium, and the feminine's like soft, like magnesium. But there is, and I thought, well, this isn't true what you're saying. This is just some way that helps to explain it. But then this Asian guy that was listening to me was like, hey, did you know that in Chinese, the symbol for magnesium means beautiful mineral or feminine mineral? I was like, okay, interesting. So there is some truth to this, and learning about this soft tissue is the key to bring that magnesium into the body through the ectoderm, through those layers that then feed the muscular and then feed the organs, and not the reverse. So this is like from without inward, as far as like this mineral is concerned.
And this is also the connection between man and the sea. So you get two for the price of one. Come check us out at theheartoftradition.com.